Hi, everybody. It's great to be here. I want to thank AAAS-Lemelson Foundation for allowing me to be part of this incredible journey. And certainly, as a filmmaker, I'm completely inspired by being here at the Thomas Edison Museum. So, what is the intersection of art, science, and technology? I believe it's curiosity and wonder, and that drives us to explore because we're surrounded by so many things we can't see. And I love to use film to take us on a journey through portals of time and scale, making the invisible visible.
We are all born with a sense of wonder. Sometimes it's triggered by astonishing feats, monuments to mankind's capabilities, extraordinary talents and gifts, or scientific discoveries that push the boundaries of comprehension. Wonder and awe allow us to transcend the ordinary, even to test our concepts of time and scale. We are, as they say, in the moment. Wonder inspires us to open our hearts and our minds to engender gratitude.
So, a lot of folks ask, how did I get started filming nature? Well, as a kid growing up in Brooklyn, I didn't experience nature because if my parents didn't do it, well, neither did I. I think my first whitewater experience was racing popsicle sticks down the gutter. My parents were Holocaust survivors. They met after the war in a relocation camp in Germany, and they knew each other for about 2 weeks before they decided to get married. Friends who they just met stood in for their parents to walk them down the aisle. They came to America with my older sister, nothing more than the clothes on their back, but they were resilient. So living under their roof, I saw how grateful they were for every blessing that came their way: food on the table, a roof over their heads, steady job, and the gift of being able to have children. To them, that was heaven on earth. So I grew up wanting to make the world a better place and fight against injustice. And I headed off to UCLA, majoring in history and political science. But how could I study the French Revolution when the anti-war protests were happening right outside my classroom? Like my parents, I needed to bear witness to tell that story. The students rebelled because they wanted to stop an unjust war. There were no camera phones back then, so I quickly learned photography and I documented the protests. FBI agents were there to take photos and to arrest the student leaders. Photography was the only way to protect myself and others from being beaten, for expressing their rights, for free speech, and to assemble. These were my very first photographs. So I handed in these black and white photo essays, which was a lot easier for me than writing a paper, and I found my voice. I fell in love with photography and filmmaking. The protest marches that we have now are similar to what was happening in 1970 during the repressive Nixon years. The silver lining is that it spawned Earth Day and the liberation movements for women and people of color. We're going through a similar period of breakdown and breakthrough. We have the solutions at our fingertips, and we can't let our politicians turn their backs on science in fear and denial. So I started to film nature. I met my greatest teacher. She taught me the art of composition, of lighting, color, and movement. She taught me how to live a creative and sustainable life because nature doesn't waste a single molecule and never takes more than what she needs. So when I graduated from UCLA, I moved to a little town called Elk in Northern California. I wanted to shoot 35 millimeter movie film, but I didn't have much money, but I did have time and a sense of wonder. All animation motors back then were AC powered. They were big and heavy, designed for shooting indoors. And to quote someone very famous, to invent, you need good imagination and a pile of junk. These old cameras were available for me. They cost about $1,000 and had the same mechanical engineering design of a state-of-the-art camera. But I wanted to take these heavy cameras outside to chase the light, to do time-lapse of fog and clouds and shafts of light. So we designed a lightweight motor that could run on flashlight batteries. And I built a machine that could compress time, turning time-lapse into an art form that eventually became an industry worth billions. Economic necessity is the mother of invention.
They just shoot 24 hours a day, one frame every half hour, and we're just tight inside flowers. Every 20 minutes, the grow lights turn off, and then the photo lights will come on. I've got this old Commodore computer which runs the cameras 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. A roll of film could take you like a couple of months to shoot. And then when you see the dailies, it's like, wow, I really didn't expect that. There you go. In 24 hours, we'll have 1 second of film.
So I've been squeezing time-lapse flowers continuously for 40 years into 16 hours of film. The flowers seduced me with their color, their taste, touch, and aroma. And I learned that beauty and seduction are nature's tool for survival because we protect what we love. It engages our senses. It's a reawakening, a homecoming to our inner self. That's why babies and kittens are cute. And that's why puppies are cute. And when your kids are cute, if they weren't cute, you toss them out with the bathwater. It's called unconditional love. And then your grandchildren are cute because we're hardwired to love. So life's a force of energy that wants to flourish. But life depends on so many little things we take for granted, like the bees. And many scientists believe that if the bees go, we go. They supply our food, fruits, nuts, vegetables, seeds. So I wanted to tell the story from a flower's point of view, but I needed a feminine voice because pollination is all about symbiotic relationships. So I found a narrator who was a gardener, an English graduate from Yale, and she had a couple of Academy Awards under her belt as well. In Wings of Life, a Disney nature movie, I was the first to use a phantom camera designed for use for the military to film ultra slow motion of pollinators at 1,000 frames per second, 16 times slower than the human eye can see. And I shared this never before seen imagery with my scientific advisors. Pollination is a love story that feeds the earth. It's an affair that's been going on for 50 million years, and we can't let this beautiful relationship unravel. That's a baby breastfeeding on the mother. So pollination, a love story that feeds the earth. I'm sorry, I went backwards. So, in many of the films, I've innovated filmmaking techniques to capture imagery that's never been seen before. For Mysteries of the Unseen World, a 3D IMAX movie by National Geographic, we created the very first scanning electron microscopic images in 3D. Can you guess what this is? It's a butterfly egg, shark skin, eggshell, and the eye of a fruit fly, a snail's tongue, and a flea found on cats. It's amazing that beauty exists in imagery that is almost a million times smaller than the human eye can see. In my most recent film, Soaring Around the World for Disney theme parks, I used 5 cameras from a helicopter stitching together a 20K image, filming all the great wonders of the world to create the most immersive film experience. Soarin' is projected on an upside-down domed IMAX screen as people sit in a hang glider, motion simulator seat, watching the ground move under their feet, flying around the earth. So I'm still inventing new ways to film nature's beauty to inspire wonder and awe. But my greatest experience was during the Climate Summit in Paris. A group of filmmakers were invited to Rome to project their imagery on the Vatican in support of the Pope's encyclical to protect the environment. Can you imagine the emotions I felt, the son of Holocaust survivors, being able to project light and beauty on the Vatican, given that they were silent during the roundup of Jews in Italy and throughout Europe? If the Catholic Church can change, anything is possible. There's hope. I wish my parents could have seen it. 50 projectors and 1 million lumens of light. So currently I'm collaborating at the new Jacobs Medical Center at UC San Diego in all 250 rooms. We're going to gather data to see how nature's imagery can help patients heal by giving them the power to choose where in the world would you love to go to be healed. Flowers, ocean, desert, flowers, underwater. I'm hoping for positive health outcomes to see if we can lower blood pressure, heart and respiration rates, reducing anxiety, and addiction to painkillers, better sleep, and shorter hospital stays. It'll probably also be good for the caregivers as well. So I hope my visual storytelling will inspire young people especially to become explorers and inventors in their own backyards, opening their hearts to fall in love with nature, to protect what we love, and to celebrate life. Thank you.